Welcome, everyone. Today we're here for the Marin Health Integrative Wellness Center, Asian Medical Healing Arts. We're going to talk about the Chinese 5 elements and the seasons, and today we're going to talk about spring. I'm Corliss Chan, and I'm at the Marin Health Integrative Wellness Center in Green Bay, California. I'm a certified practitioner of acupressure and Jinshin Jitsu for over 25 years, lifelong student of the Asian healing arts, and I also offer the hospital's free Monday meditation class on Zoom, and we also have one-to-one sessions. And I'll let Camille introduce herself.
Hi, thank you everyone for joining. I am Camille Levman, and I am a doctorate of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and I work at the Integrative Wellness Center doing acupuncture. Thank you for attending.
Okay, so we're going to launch into talking about different aspects of the 5 elements and about this season, which is the wood element. So, in the traditional Asian therapies, we offer, various aspects at our center: acupressure, acupuncture, Jinshin Jitsu, nutrition, and self-care. There's a lot to learn about. It's a huge subject. So on our next slide, you'll see more information. Our objectives today will be discussing the relationship of how health is related to the seasons, specifically spring, in the Chinese 5-element theory. Camille's going to talk about physical ailments as they are related to the season of spring. And I'm going to talk more about the emotional and mental health aspects as it relates to the 5 elements. In the next slide, I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of the 5 seasons, and then we'll get more specifically into the wood element. So understanding the 5 elements is the study of relationships in nature. It is, along with yin and yang, the basic philosophy of traditional Chinese medicine. The ancient Chinese observed these relationships in nature and applied them to the dynamics of the body. They didn't see humans as separate from nature, but rather as a part of nature. So the 5 elements are fire, earth, metal, water, and wood, and they each correspond to a season. Chinese medicine is essentially holistic. It is based on the idea that disease cannot be isolated from the patient, and that no single part can be understood except in its relationship to the whole system. The Chinese believe that illness is precipitated by environmental factors, emotions, and lifestyle. They were particularly aware of climatic factors, harmful effects of damaging emotions, and the connection between diet and health. So you can see that, let's go to the next slide, and we can talk more. Today, we'll look at the wood element, which is associated with the color green, springtime, birth, developing goals and planning, willpower, the eyes, our vision, tendons, the sour taste, and the emotion of anger. The wood organs are the liver and the gallbladder. And in Chinese medicine, it's not just the organ when we talk about wood and liver and gallbladder. We're talking about also the emotional aspects of these organs and the pathway that they travel through your body. So the 5 element system gives you a deeper understanding of the invisible energy pattern that influences you and the people you know and love. All the five elements live within us. And sometimes, in some days, they are expressing more. One element, two elements, they may be expressing themselves more in you or someone you're looking, someone you know. And so I think it's good to know some of these qualities and features. Each of the five elements depends on the others, and life itself depends on their balance and interdependence. It's like a relay race, and they pass their energy on to the others. So it's important for them to be in balance. So let's go to the next slide. So here are some keys to understanding the wood element. The wood element, as we observe in nature and can be observed in people sometimes more than others, the wood element seeks challenge and pushes to the limit, enjoys and does well under pressure, admires speed, novelty, and skill. The wood element expresses itself by love of action, movement, and adventure. The wood element in a person might be expressed as somebody who likes to be first, best, and only. So, these key ideas helped me to understand more about health in myself and others, where disharmony might be coming from and how to find balance. I've met people who like to be first, best, and only. And, it may be annoying, or it may be a story that's playing out in front of me and you to understand more fully what might be going on with someone. So let's go to the next slide. Typical problems when a wood element is out of balance is intolerance and impatience, volatile emotions, extremism, such as being over impulsive or over disciplined, self indulgent, or self punishing, vascular headaches, migraines, muscle spasms, high blood pressure, nerve inflammations, and migratory pain. Perhaps the abuse of stimulants and sedatives. The power of wood comes from the capacity to rapidly expand and build up pressure. Wood types need to modulate their intensity and stay flexible to be able to retreat and yield, as well as surge forward and be undaunted. So we're currently in the beginning of, we're in spring, and in the beginning of the season, you probably saw how bare trees can quickly develop new leaves. And that's that rapidly expanding, surging quality of the wood element in spring, and which also can be in our bodies and our behavior. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
So as Corliss mentioned, we're in springtime, and with each season, we have an element. So for the Asian arts theory, the five elements exist within us as they do within nature. So when you think of springtime, it's the ideal time to cleanse, a good time to rejuvenate for good health. And it's represented by the wood elements. There's the physical aspects and the emotional aspects. And with each meridian system, we think of the organ. The organ pathway, as you know it, the liver, corresponds with a meridian, and each meridian has a yin function and a yang function. So within the liver, the complementary organ is the gallbladder. And these two organs are the primary organs that we like to target during springtime. So the element is wood, the color associated with it is green, the nature is more yang than yin, and emotions, if it's out of balance, can be associated with some anger. All right, we can move on to the next slide. So the liver physically is associated, it's located in the upper right quadrant of the abdomen below the diaphragm, and it's in front of the gallbladder to the right of the kidney and just beyond the stomach. The major functions include digestion, metabolism, detoxification, coagulation, and immune regulation. It's responsible in Chinese medicine for the flow of our energy or qi in the blood throughout the body, and it controls the volume of blood flow in the vessels, and it stores our blood. In traditional theory, it governs the tendons, so it affects our muscles, our sinews, and the meridian opens up to the eyes. The taste is sour, so if you're craving sour food, the liver may be communicating that it needs an extra support. And I'll go into some dietary suggestions as we move through the slides. So this is just the physical location. It's below the rib cage on the right side. Usually you can't feel it unless you do have some inflammation or fatty liver, but it's located underneath the rib cage. And this is the organ of the liver. I'll show a meridian picture as well. So in terms of springtime, we're really looking at the flow of energy. If the liver is congested, you'll notice that you'll have more pain. And because it's springtime, we really want to emphasize the smooth flow of qi throughout the meridian, so the energy of your body. It absorbs everything that we eat. It's really important in terms of what you ingest. And it's also a detoxifier. So it helps to clean the blood and spread evenly qi throughout the body. So it can help with, we target it for a lot of pain issues, digestive support, and also it affects the blood. So the renewal of spring is associated with the liver, as it is responsible for cleansing the blood via filtration, removing toxins, and storing and distributing nutrients throughout the body. Next slide. So this is the meridian pathway. The liver is a yin meridian, so it actually, the main pathway starts where the physical liver is. You'll see right below the rib cage there, and then it moves down the rib cage through the abdomen and goes down the inner part of your leg, all the way down to your toes, between the first and second toe. And so this is, we can use acupressure along the pathway here. The pathway is the one in red marked right here. And each point corresponds with different indications and actions. I'll go through some points that we can use to help boost the energy and help with the detoxifying process of the liver. On the next slide. So the gallbladder is the yang meridian that's associated with the liver, and that is on the outer side of the legs. So the liver's on the inside, and the gallbladder goes up the outer side all the way up into the head. So as Corliss was describing, the wood can be associated with some fire, and so the energy can rise up and cause some headaches and muscle aches and muscle pain. And this is also a time where judgment can come into play. So having clear decision-making and courage can help guide that meridian. So I'm going to give a 2-point treatment to strengthen the liver. This is the source point of the liver. It's called Taishang. And it's between the big toe and the little toe here. And you can press that using acupressure to help boost the energy of the liver. So the name translates to great surge because there's so much energy in this point. It's on the dorsum of the foot between the first and second metatarsal space. and it's actually the source point of the liver. Every meridian has a source point where a lot of the energy gathers. So it can be used for headache, vertigo. Because the liver meridian guides to the eyes, it can help treat red eyes. It can help treat some mood issues, so some depression. If you're having pain where the liver is located in the hypochondrium or abdominal distension, it can help with hiccups. We think of hiccups as some heat rising up. It can help with weakness or numbness and pain in the lower extremities, or difficulty walking because of the muscle and sinew connection. And also because of the power over the blood, we do think of it as dealing with some gynecological issues. So it can help regulate the menstrual blood and help with some other bleeding issues. So this can be coupled with the point that I'll show you in the next slide. This is, although it's a large intestine point, every meridian is connected with another point. So this large intestine 4 point is very strong, powered with the liver 3 point to help open up all 12 meridians. And it helps, the next slide will go through some indications, but it's between where your thumb is and the big finger. So the name for this is Hagu. It's the joining valley between the first and second bone. And it's also the source point of the large intestine and the command point of the head and face. So we use it for headaches, to help clear the eyes. It's a really good moving of energy point, so it can help guide the flow of energy throughout the meridians. So because we look at the body in terms of what you're eating, what you're putting into it, some of the dietary recommendations, there's a taste associated with this season, which is sour. And so it's recommended to eat foods that are nourishing and naturally sour, like lemons, strawberries, tomatoes, fermented vegetables, anything pickled. Can help with the detoxification. Also eating with the season, so things that are green, local produce, avoiding refined sugar and alcohol help with that process as well. Next slide. So eating regular hours is great, eating protein with every meal. Your digestive system regulates the processes proteins, so making sure that you're getting good proteins. You're getting carbohydrates, eating things like eggs, chicken, organic fish, lentils, beans, and nuts. And then drinking warm water or herbal tea before each meal can help with the digestive process because it relaxes the stomach muscles, and it can help you digest meals easier. Altogether, it's better to avoid deep fried foods and refined foods, just because this is the time to detoxify, to nourish your liver. And this will help to improve digestion and also improve your overall health. So Corliss will go into the emotions that are related to the wood element.
Good. So here's an example of wood, so you can get a picture to see, do you know somebody like this, or does this remind you of, some qualities that you see in others, yourself? So the wood element in us can be assertive in forging plans and implementing them. If this is you, you could maneuver easily and get things done. You are highly motivated and pursue projects with outright zeal, shifting gears with a strategic sense of opportunity. You can drive yourself hard, work well under pressure, and meet deadlines, and you enjoy it. Resourceful and ingenious, you excel at managing conflict and producing solutions. You like taking the ball and running with it. Wielding power and influence comes naturally. It can be expedient to rely on caffeine to get going and then alcohol to slow down. for the wood types because they go at such an intense pace. You're often in a hurry and grab quick meals on the run. And, maybe the next day you're starving yourself. And then the day after you're overeating to make up. So lots of different, aspects that you might see in a person. I also wanted to add another example, and it's not in our slides, but I was thinking this might help you understand a little bit more about the wood types. Wood types tend to keep themselves so busy and involved in the endless details of life that they claim they don't have enough time to eat. For the wood type, when it speaks to us, in us, it might mean skipping meals, eating on the run, grabbing a Coke and a bag of chips as you're driving down the freeway to your next appointment. If you have a natural affinity to wood, you might try to just take a few minutes to relax before eating, then sit down at the table, maybe light a candle. Take the time to enjoy a good, nourishing meal. And sitting down is essential because eating on the run strains your digestive system and contributes to stress, which overburdens the liver. Your body needs about 15 to 20 minutes of rest several times a day in order to keep your energy flowing, steady, and strong. So, another thing I thought I'd mention, I think we have the time. If it's possible, can we maybe back up about 5 slides to those organ pathways, the drawings? And it might help people to understand. And we'll come back to the rest of the slides too. Okay, let's stop here. So you can see the pathway that Camille described. So this is a picture of the liver meridian. And you can see it travels, part of it travels through the groin. There are inner channels that go to the eyes. So there might be times when, like Camille said, it could affect, like in women, the menstrual flow, because you can see how it's traveling through that groin area. And that could contribute to heavy menstrual flow or clotting if there's a strain in that channel or congestion, right? And it starts to the big toe, between the big toe and the second toe. And it's actually on the side of the big toe. Okay, let's see if we could go forward to the next slide. So you see in this gallbladder channel, like Camille said, it's along the outside of the body, and headaches can be at the side. Also, neck and shoulder pain could be caused by gallbladder imbalance. And also, too, you can see how it travels down the side of the leg. So a lot of times if somebody comes and says they're having sciatica pain, I might look, and when I feel their pulses, listen to if there's anything going on with the gallbladder, and just see how it feels. Since so many of the pathways are near each other, it's not always just one, or another channel might also have contributing factors to a headache or to back pain or sciatica. So it's good to come see one of us and get some input about what might be happening if there's something that's going on, and it's not getting resolved. So okay, and you can see also how the gallbladder and the liver, how those channels run through the stomach area, so how they might affect digestion if there's a lot of tension. Okay, if we can go forward to where we left off. Okay, and like we mentioned earlier, the 5 elements, they support each other. And so here's an example of how that looks in nature, and it's true for us too. Each of the 5 elements depends on the others, and life itself depends upon their balance and interdependence. So the water, in the water element, true for us, irrigates the fields and forests so that wood can grow. And we know what, a young tree looks like, kind of flexible and soft. And we know too what, wood can look like when it doesn't have enough water or it's matured. It could be stiff and gnarled. So a kind of a natural cycle. The wood element feeds fire, which burns to ash, nourishing the earth. The earth provides a firm foundation and stable support for the mountains of metal that rise upward toward the mountains and the heavens. And metallic ores and rocks underlie the river channels that give water its direction, while minerals and trace elements give water its nourishing richness. So you can see how the elements flow one into the other. And even if one is missing, it will affect all the others, or if it's deficient or excessive. Okay, let's go on to the next slide and see what we got. So Camille, did you want to say something about this? Oops.
Well, this just shows the nature of the 5 element theory. So right now we're in wood, and wood is associated with the liver and the gallbladder. And then this affects the fire. There's a few different ways of looking at this, but it just shows basically how everything is interconnected and interdependent. So in terms of our bodies, if something is off balance, it's going to throw the balance of a different meridian system. If you're feeling stressed or if you have a headache, it could affect your digestion because of the relationship of earth and the large intestine, or it could affect your heart, which is related to the blood vessels and sleep. So if you're not taking good care, if you have pain, that can affect sleep, it can affect digestion. So we really are looking to achieve balance within the body so that energy between each meridian system and each element flows appropriately.
So like we said earlier, there'll be a recording of today's session and you'll be able to find it at Marin Health's YouTube channel. You can go to www.youtube.com and then search Marin Health in the search bar and then click on the Marin Health logo. And I'm not sure yet where you'll be able to find this, but I would think you would look in the integrative wellness playlist and it'll be there sometime soon. At the bottom of your screen, you can see that we have a playlist for all the guided meditations. And a couple over, you'll see what looks like a skeleton on your screen. And that's where the Jinshin Jitsu playlist is for all the episodes that we've had there. So probably one or the other, it'll be there. And you can click subscribe to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Okay. And for those of you who haven't tried it yet, we have a free Monday morning guided meditation class from 10 to 11 when it's not a holiday, and it's on Zoom and it's free. So you can join by going to www.mymarinhealth.org/meditation.